FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in, Ticket Weeknights, leading off here on a Monday with the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel. Austin Oerman with you here inside 1040 O Street, 93.7 Ticket Studios. If you want to be a part of the show, you can. Join it at 402-464-5685 with your comments and questions. You can also do the same online, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Those streams brought to you as well by our friends at Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Let's go to our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Welcome in lead sports columnist for the Omaha World Herald, Mr. Tom Shatel. Tom, a happy Monday to you. How are you, sir?
Good. We're going to have something new tonight. It's a little bit like the food channel on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm actually making dinner tonight, so I might have to get up and walk over to the oven and see if the pan of lasagna that I carefully put in there. I did not bake it myself, but frozen dinner is in the oven right now, so I will be checking that later. So I will try to be careful not to burn myself or you. So.
Please, if it gets to be too much, trust me, I'm in that same frozen lasagna sort of conversation. If you're worried about it, your family's worried about it. I totally understand if you need to hang up the phone to prevent it dropping or burning, because it sounds like you and I are on the same sort of cooking plan, Tom, where our cookbooks are about one page of 8.5 by 11, and 2/3 of it is taken up with frozen meals that someone else put together that we just have to make sure we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah, well, my wife has got school board tonight, and my daughter is studying and doing other sort of things for school, and so I'm the slacker of the family, and so I'm on the radio talking Husker football and Akron and beer and all that fun stuff.
All sorts of fun stuff on tap. Indeed, we do, as always, appreciate your time. Let's start with the Nebraska-Akron game. 68-0 Nebraska. Huskers led 9-0 after the first quarter. Could have been worse if not for a couple of red zone shortcomings. But then, Tom, second quarter comes around. Nebraska opens it up to a 33-0 lead, and floodgates were open from there. First time in a while we've seen Nebraska do that to an opponent. Of course, you had the 40-point win against UTEP last year, Northwestern a handful of years ago. But, man, once Nebraska opened the floodgates, they did not stop all game long. Huskers don't punt. What'd you make of the offensive explosion and outburst from the Huskers on Saturday night?
Well, it was right on time. After it was a bounce back win after a win. You don't see that very often. But I just felt like the mood after Cincinnati was, okay, it's good to win, but there's a lot to clean up. I thought that they'd be better. You just don't know what you're going to get in an opener, and everything is fine. That game was was just a really hard game to play in a lot of ways, and you had a lot of good guys. I thought that it's kind of settled things in a little bit. I mean, yes, it's Akron, but who cares about the opponent? The opponent is beside the point. The main thing was, what is Nebraska going to look like? And, are they going to do what you should do to an Akron? I mean, you saw up and down the list Saturday of Big Ten scores. Minnesota, 66. Illinois had a bunch. I mean, just, Northwestern scored over 40. Wisconsin, which I'm not sure how good their offense, but they had 40. So, I mean, just up and down the line, there were, teams taking care of the games that they should, the way they should. And I heard more comments from people saying that it felt like Nebraska football again because the second teamers, the third and fourth teamers all got in, and they got to see people that they hadn't seen before. And that was like the old, not old days, but that was certainly like a lot of games we used to watch and cover. Haven't really seen much of those the last 10 years, but it was good medicine. And like I said, what are we going to complain about now? Well, people certainly found, we're going to complain about beer and the food lines. So, okay, I get it. But football, always right in the world, which, forget the opponent, is what Nebraska should do. If they hadn't done that, they would be on a hand-wringing this week.
There would be, but, they do take care of business 68-0. And let's jump off on that point. Saw a lot of players that you wouldn't normally get to see. Also been a long time since you've been able to say that about a Nebraska game, Tom. You saw the depth for Nebraska. The twos came in pretty early, right? Dawson Merritt was a guy that Matt Rule brought up. Cade Petchock has the safety. Those guys played legitimate snaps early on in the game. And Matt Rule's most proud of, he said, the fact there wasn't much of a drop-off from the standard that he wanted his starters to set to that backup group. They didn't just get in the second half. They played legitimate roles in the first half in helping Nebraska build that lead. Just how important is it for this Nebraska program at this moment in time to flash that it does have that depth behind the starters?
It does have the depth, and I think that was a big factor going into the week. I really do. We heard of stories. We certainly heard from the two coordinators, and then John Butler and Daniel Holgerson were not happy with things, and they didn't seem to have an edge to their monologue and their statements, and they seemed a little frustrated after the first game. And Matt Rule told us about special teams and that they were frustrated too with that, and that they were it just seemed like the whole tone was the coordinators were getting all over the players and telling them that they had to show more. I felt like there was more urgency going into that game, and a big reason for that was the depth that they were able to. When you have teams, you guys lined up ready to play, you could kind of hold it over the starters by saying, "Look, if you don't do this, if you don't make that block, if you don't show more effort, if you don't do this or that, you're not going to play." They haven't been able to do that in a long time. So I do feel like it was a good week to kind of show up depth going into the week, and then it's only on Saturday night all those guys got in. TJ Lateef, of course, we had never seen him. I wasn't sure we'd ever see him. Just up and down the list, the running backs, receivers, Clark. I mean, what a nice play. Just it was good to see it open up, because after those two drives down to the 1 yard line, all I got out of those two drives were a safety. Basically, right. The one drive, the fumble set up a safety. Like I said, take 2 points away from the 68 and add 14, and it should have been 80. So, but I think after those, people kind of groaned, going, "Oh goodness." I mean, have you ever think you felt like they were going to eventually open it up? But it was people going, well, "Not again." I think that's why the beer lines might have been so long.
That was certainly a talking point among Nebraska fans, was just how long those lines were. Another talking point among fans, though, Tom, was just how long the plays were for Nebraska. Some actual legitimate explosive plays for the Huskers. According to your eye, was that because Nebraska was just so much bigger, faster, stronger than Akron, and they took advantage of it? Was there some schematic stuff that you noticed Nebraska maybe did differently? How do you think Nebraska came by as many explosive plays as it did?
Well, I think, and again, I can't tell you what the game plan was to Cincinnati, but it sure seemed like they weren't trying to open it up as much. I think Cincinnati game, and you know, Cincinnati's not great, but they were a little bit of a wild card because their quarterback didn't really care, and he was going to just do stuff. They were a little unconventional in some things, and I felt like the Nebraska's game plan, they sort of ran the ball a lot, and I felt like, and with one back, and I just felt like the mentality was, don't screw this up. Let's keep this. Let's just play to our strength, and let's not get any of the running backs in there who might fumble or who might get hit, and the ball comes loose or something. Guys you don't trust. So I felt like Akron was a little bit more of okay, let's open it up. Let's try to show, what we can do. But I think the key to the whole thing was Raiola. Just, 9 for 9 right out of the gate. I mean, he was perfect, and he was just so smooth and, just full of poise. And again, that's what you do when you're playing Akron, but that's what he does. I think it's what he's going to do every week. And so he was just a good sign that certainly the guys were open. Their guys were running wide open, and he hit them. Emmett Johnson makes a move thanks to a Harburg block and jets up the middle for the first touchdown. And it just seemed like there was more intention to do it, but also certainly more opportunity. But I just felt like that was definitely the mission last week was to do that. I'm not sure. I think against Cincinnati, it was like if the plays are there, take them. But I don't think they were going to take a lot of chances. They were going to, I just felt like the Cincinnati game was more of we just need to win this game, and then we'll work on other stuff later.
They won the Cincinnati game. They win the Akron game. So right now, through 2 games, Tom, the Nebraska offense is averaging 44 points per game. Sure, you can take the 2 points off the board for the safety, credit the defense for those, and it goes all the way down to 43 points per game. But would you think that if you had told yourself or told Husker fans that through 2 games, Nebraska would be averaging 44 points a game, that they would take it?
Oh, yeah. And I don't know what people expected. But, certainly. And I think they wanted more points against Cincinnati. But, yeah, I think so. But I think that there's just it's not about the stats right now. Although I would say there's Ja'Cory Barney leading the Big Ten with punt returns. It's only 2 games, but what a good sign. It's like, okay, there's your progress. They wanted to work on that. They brought in Mike Eckler to get that done, and they're getting it done. They block a field goal. I mean, things are coming along there, and it's just so refreshing to see a guy return a punt. He just fair catch it, or don't find a way to not catch it or something. But he's been, again, I understand it's Akron, but he was doing that like in the first game too. But another great sign, I think, is Lindenmeyer. What a terrific story. He's one of the first products of the rural developmental machine. He is a walk-on, but he's really impressed, and he's impressed Dana Holgerson by the way he executes and blocks and runs routes and makes the catches, and it's fun to see these little things, coming along and sort of show their face a little bit. And so they're just I'm anxious to see what might happen this week. I think we'll get the same kind of game if we get the same kind of execution from Nebraska, which we should. But I really think these 2 weeks are important, Austin, for the rest of the season. I think this program needs confidence, and it needs to know it can execute. And I guess never mind the opponents. There'll be plenty of times to show later that you can do it against a lot tougher, including one in 2 weeks. But I just feel like they needed a couple weeks to kind of release and take a deep breath and go score a bunch of points, go make a bunch of plays, go play a bunch of guys, and just feel real good about yourself. So I think these 2 weeks, and they'll kind of settle into a lineup, offensive line, defensive line. They'll kind of settle into rotations and things like that. So, we'll obviously Michigan is a week away, but I feel good about the way they looked last week, and I think they're going to do it again this week.
It's one of those things, Tom, that we can qualify with the opponent all we want, but Nebraska has faced FCS teams that it hasn't beat 68-0 in recent times. And I think the way that I'm looking at this win for Nebraska against Akron is you got to prove that you can do it against somebody, to prove that you can do it against anybody, So yeah, it's Akron. We all, I think, understand that in our heads, but we also haven't seen Nebraska do that to a team of Akron quality in quite a while.
Right, and again, that's what you want them to do. That you expect that to happen, and if it doesn't happen, it's a giant red flag. I'm not talking about the one above the stadium. I mean, we've had plenty of games where it's been a letdown, or they've great escapes, or they didn't. And again, it isn't the score; it's the way they played. The special teams are sharper. The defense, we hear stories about defensive coaches, including Phil Snow, the old graybeard, getting on those defenders last week for, you need to start running the ball. You need to show more energy, more purpose, and that's what a defense does. And, after the first week, they did a lot more of that last week. They were everywhere. So it was a lot sharper on both sides of the ball. Offensive line had those two, call them hiccups down near the goal line. Well, actually, just one. They had the 4th and 1 where they tried the Harburg sneak and he didn't make it. But I guess the first one was a Johnson fumble after a big run. I mean, some of their holes were huge. I mean, they've got guys running through. It looks like it should, and that's what I take away from that game. It's Nebraska football the way it should look, and especially at this stage of the rural program. So, I just thought it was a good sign. I didn't care about the score, although people were going to look at the score, and I'm sure people on the Big Ten are going, okay, well, this might be better. We'll see later on. But here at home, Nebraska, it was a good, very good sign.
It absolutely was. I want to talk about the defense a little bit. Obviously, it's been a while since Nebraska had a shutout. The infamous "we're back and we're here to stay" from Bo Pelini after the 33-0 win over Arizona in the Holiday Bowl. Tom, what really stood out to me about the defense was just how aggressive John Butler was when they had Akron backed up in the shadow of their own goal line. I'm sure some of that is trusting, his athletes on the outside to be better than Akron's, but John Butler got after it. He was sending pressure. He was sending extra guys, even, with the risk of, hey, if we don't get here, we only have one or two guys in that second line of defense to prevent a big explosive play. I think that led to the safety. Nebraska knew it was bigger, faster, stronger than Akron, and John Butler wasn't afraid to leverage that athletic advantage that Nebraska had, and it resulted in points for the defense.
Well, the biggest step in learning how to win and changing this thing around is acting like acting like you're the favorite, acting like a team that should beat the hell out of you, and playing that way, and playing to win, not taking a lead and holding on tight, getting conservative, playing not to lose. We've seen that too many times. I think that was the key to the season, is that those coordinators calling games like that. And today it was music to my ears to hear Matt Rule say that he yelled at him at halftime because he felt like they kind of let it down. They took their foot off the gas, and he wanted all gas and no brakes. He wanted to bury him, because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get them to play that way and act that way and show no mercy at all times. And it doesn't mean you're going to always have that kind of game. You're not. But it means that that's how you're going to play all the time. And that's what they're going to need against Michigan and Michigan State and so on and so forth. So I really like that. I like that. I like an approach from him that, okay, we are going to get after it, and we want to bury these guys. Hey, it's been too long since Nebraska did that to anybody. And I think that was part of the feel-good takeaway from Saturday night was, hey, this is what it kind of resembles not only the depth and emptying the bench, but going after it. Taking those guys down and just stomping on them.
Yeah, making sure the game was over as early as it could possibly be. We'll get into more of what Matt Rule said coming up in our next segment, because even coming off a 68-0 win, Matt Rule was in peak Matt Rule form at his press conference here today. Went on for quite a while. Elsewhere on the defense, Tom, I think another kind of mark of a game like this for Nebraska against Akron is that the leading tackler had 4 tackles. One guy with 4, a few guys with 3, a bunch of guys with 2. Do you think that's how Nebraska and John Butler want to continue to play? Obviously, probably not getting 108 guys in the game as a team moving forward, but do you think that spreading the tackles around like that is a good sign for Nebraska, or do they need someone to step up and be that, for sure, no doubt leading tackle, or he's going to go get the ball carrier guy?
Yeah, I don't think they have that guy right now, and maybe I'll be proven wrong over time, and I hope I am, but I think right now that they need everybody out there running at the ball and trying to make plays. I think that's what the kind of roster they have, the kind of team they have on defense. So yeah, I think they're very happy with that. And maybe those stars will emerge. Maybe the defensive dominators or the playmakers are gonna. There's certainly a lot of candidates, especially in secondary. But yeah, right now they just up front they need to form an identity. They need to kind of carve that out. Who's going to play? Who's going to make the plays? And they just need all those guys, as many guys as they can out there, showing effort, chasing the quarterback, knocking him down. We'll get one more week of probably a lot of success up front. And then Michigan quarterback will probably play a little bit like the Cincinnati quarterback, except he's a lot better. So I saw something that Michigan coach Sharon Moore said today, that they don't want to necessarily run him a lot yet. They don't want him to get hurt. They don't want to get him banged up. It's just the season's just beginning. but that's certainly probably an identity he's going to take later. So maybe they're catching a break by playing Michigan early, but he's the kind of guy that if you miss him, you don't wrap him up, or you let him, he goes back to pass and he's got a wide open lane to run in, he's going to do it. So they'll have to certainly tighten that up from the first game. But right now, they just got to get in the habit of chasing the ball, knocking people down. The defensive front guys creating havoc, just basically blowing up the offensive line every play. They just got to get in that habit, and so I think that's what they're going for right now.
I would tend to agree. We'll take our first break of the show, get into what Matt Rule had to say at his weekly press conference today. Nebraska beats Akron 68-0, and the head coach had a lot to say about it. On our Aloe Fiber VIP line is Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. I'm Austin Oerman. More of the Husker Football Hour next.
Season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor. We want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says, it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're rolling right along through our one Ticket weeknights tonight, taking you all the way up till midnight here at 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. It is the Husker Football Hour. I'm Austin Oerman, joined on our Aloe Fiber VIP line by Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. Tom, we were both in the building, Hawks Championship Center, for Matt Rule's weekly press gathering, at least recapping the weekend that was for his Huskers. Couple things stood out to me. First and foremost, Matt Rule, a lot of talk about the standard, what the expectations are for Nebraska, not the external ones, but the internal ones. How is Nebraska playing? What standard are they holding themselves accountable to? Seems like Matt Rule, number one, thinks his team has taken a step in the right direction in that way, but is certainly not perfect. He mentioned just how pissed off he was about the couple drives that Akron put together, and I really liked his part about how, there's 46 seconds left in the half. These guys think they can throw it on you. As a player, you got to find a way to take that personally. What did you make of those comments from Husker head coach Matt Rule?
Well, I loved it. The thing about, Mondays with Matt is that it's usually sort of an open window into the process. And today's snippet, or today's little glimpse of the process, was that they're at a point now where if we, this is a team we should dominate, and we should be doing it. And you got to take all this stuff personally, and so I love that. That's what Nebraska was built on. That kind of stuff, that kind of attitude. These guys just scored. Well, now we're pissed. Now we're going to score 21 more points on you. So it's that's the kind of warrior sort of mentality that you have to have. Again, you're not going to do that to everybody. They don't have that kind of roster, but they have the kind of roster that can win a lot of games this year. But confidence and approach is everything right now for these guys. And he's trying to get them to think a certain way, and I'm here for it, man. I think it's great. That's the way Nebraska's best teams always play.
And again, it's early in the year, but Matt Rule said even just through 2 games, he feels like it's a more business-like approach for his team than last year when he talked about a normal year 2 for a lot of places, and he said his teams is what Nebraska went through last year, getting up for the Ohio State game and then not getting up for, say, a UCLA game at home later in the year. That's a legitimate area of growth that you can start to tell when a team's starting to take that next step, Tom.
Well, and who are your best players? The best players often lead the way and they set the tone. So Raiola, Emmett, Key, Singleton, these people.
Barney and Shavers got shout outs last week.
Yeah, I mean, these guys who are out there doing the thing, not necessarily because they have a certain number they're wearing or they have a C on their jersey, but the guys who are out there actually making the plays and leading the way are the ones who have to, those are the ones who set the tone. And, the best teams coach themselves. The best teams, they take care of their own mistakes. If somebody's sloughing off, somebody speaks up. And I think they have some of those guys right now. Dylan's just a sophomore, but I think that they have some of those guys. I think that's going to keep emerging as the season goes on. So, maybe Lindenmeyer's that guy too. I don't know, but maybe there's an offensive lineman that's going to do that too. So, but I just think that, the best teams don't need to be coached. And so right now he's still coaching. He's still pushing buttons. They aren't there yet. But, that games like last Saturday make you feel that they're taking a step forward.
We heard more from Matt Rule about his backup quarterback than we did his starting quarterback, or at least the number of questions were more about TJ Lateef than they were Dylan Raiola. But Matt Rule did turn that around and, give Dylan Raiola a lot of praise for exactly what you're saying, Tom. What were your takeaways from what Matt Rule said about his top two quarterbacks there and the relationship between Dylan Raiola and TJ Lateef?
Yeah, well, it's just what I was saying. He's trying to lead him. He's trying to get him through the first year where he was last year, and all the things that you're supposed to do, all the where the ball's supposed to go, where it goes if the defense shows this, so on and so forth. What I liked about Rule is something I heard Saturday night when I was on deadline, just screaming and losing my mind. I happened to hear out of the corner. I was upstairs because it's a night game. I don't go downstairs to get the quotes. I listen to the quotes on the TV set up in the press box. So, but something Rule said, I caught him saying about Raiola was basically he didn't. I have to paraphrase this, but he doesn't want a bunch of highlight plays or underhand passes or sidearm, or he wants him to play quarterback, and that's what he was doing. He was making plays. He was getting the ball where it's supposed to be. He basically playing point guard, and that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see from Raiola this year. Is are you a winner? Are you going to make plays that are going to win games? But we don't need highlights. We need a guy who is, when he steps on the field, everybody on the field knows that he's the man, and he's going to win the game. When he walks on the field, it's almost like game over because this guy's going to get it done. And that's kind of what I want to see out of Dylan this year. Is that I think there's only one Tommy Frazier, there's only one Turner Gill, there's only one those. But I just want to see that kind of presence, that aura of a quarterback who, he's got attitude. He's going to get on his teammates. He's going to make plays. He's going to lead the way. And we're not worried about how everything looks. It's is the ball going in the end zone? Are they turning the ball over, or are they moving chains? And if the game is okay, you gotta make first downs at the end of the game to win the game. Is he that guy? And so I think we saw a little bit of that Saturday night where first half he was just about flawless. And I think Rule was talking about, a quarterback who is doing quarterback things. So I thought it was great.
It's also interesting to hear Matt Rule talk about the quarterback position, talked about, defensive guys going to play for offensive coaches, defensive guys developing under a defensive staff like Nebraska has. But what Matt Rule looks for in a quarterback he said it's about the processing. It's a lot of it is pre-snap, and they've put so much of that on Dylan Raiola. He's made a point to reiterate that time after time. And Tom,
Right.
I'm going to say this about Matt Rule. He's finding the type of quarterback that I personally like. It's great to have, the athletes. It's great to have the cannon arm, all the traits. But I've been saying this for a few years. What Nebraska's been lacking at the quarterback position is the guy who makes the play that's available to him at the time. It's great to have Superman be able to put on the cape when you need to, but it just leads me to wonder, over the last 5-10 years of Husker football, how many times that cape would have been unnecessary if the simple play had been made time after time in the first half.
Well, I mean, I agree. And, a guy like Dylan has been raised to be a quarterback, raised by trainers, raised by quarterback coaches, by gurus.
Raised by a center to be a quarterback.
Yeah, right. But his center, the dad, was a ball player. And, Nebraska needs Dylan to be a ball player, guy who plays football player, and not necessarily some kind of quarterback machine. And he's not. We're seeing that he's a ball player, but his dad was the ultimate ball player, the ultimate competitor. And so that kind of stuff does run in the family. It does. So, let me throw you a couple of names. Joe Gans, Zach Taylor, ball players. It didn't always look great, but got the job done, got the ball where it's supposed to go. So, I think we're seeing a little bit of that. And, that the first game, Cincinnati, when he ran for the first down, it was, that's a ball play. That's a play that, a guy who's going to win the game makes. So, you're not trying to force anything. You're not trying to look good. You're just worried about winning plays. So, I think that's on the way. I think it's here already.
Nebraska 2-0 to start the year, wins over Cincinnati and Akron. Another tune-up coming up against Houston Christian. I want to save the Bud Crawford quote and everything Bud Crawford means to Omaha for our last segment, Tom. So we'll talk a little Houston Christian here before we go to break. What is it going to look like for Nebraska to follow up Akron, right? I mean, the expectation would be, Houston Christian's at a lower level than Akron. Why can't Nebraska end up scoring more points? But I think Matt Rule would say that that's misguided, right? Yes, it's about the points, but also it's not, right? I think for Matt Rule, this week is going to be about process. I think that's why he set the tone with that today. What does good process look and sound like to you from Nebraska for the rest of the week heading into a game against Houston Christian?
Same thing as last week. Urgency. Again, we're talking about numbers, scores, and people want 9 wins, 10 wins. It ain't about the numbers, man. And it's never been about the numbers with Nebraska. It's been about how do you play. And if you play the right way, if you do the right things, the numbers are going to take care of themselves. So, I think that's what they have to do. I don't care who they're playing. It's about Nebraska. How do they look? Going into the big game, it's going to be a lot tougher, but you have to do things. Are you doing things the right way on every facet? Special teams, are they, are there breakdowns, are there turnovers, are there missed assignments, or are they building on last week and doing better? So, I think that's what everybody wants to see.
We'll see if Nebraska puts it on the line again. Morning kickoff for Nebraska against Houston Christian. Thought that was interesting, too, what Matt Rule was talking about when he said he moved the practices to the night for Cincinnati, then back to the normal morning schedule. We'll talk about concessions here, too, Tom. Do you think we get more beer sold for a 6:30 game against Akron or more for a morning kickoff that takes you into the lunchtime drinking hour against Houston Christian?
Well, right now I need a Food Network break. So I've got to take this out of the oven, and I'll be right with you.
Perfect. Actually, we'll take a break right here as well. Food Network break for Tom Shatel. We'll pay some bills, wrap up with some Bud Crawford talk when we get back to the Husker Football Hour.
We're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden Bay Crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Gannett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gannett Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in, Husker Football Hour, 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. With the next Food Network star, Tom Shatel. How'd the lasagna turn out?
Well, it's out of the oven, so the hard part's over.
Excellent. Now the waiting. We can do that. We'll keep you about 5 minutes, let it cool off, and then get you on to the best part of your night, digging into that masterfully crafted, masterfully baked lasagna. Congrats on that, Tom. I tip my cap to you, good sir.
It's an award winner, I promise.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt about that. Also an award winner, one Terrence Bud Crawford. Really fascinating, in-depth answer from Matt Rule about Nebraska's very own Bud Crawford with his upcoming Canelo Alvarez fight. Tom, I thought that encapsulated a lot of, where Nebraska's been and where Matt Rule wants it to get back to, right? Has been on top, has been where Bud Crawford is right now in the glory days, but, needing to still, scratch the itch of fighting. Matt Rule wanting his program to get there, right? You're not playing because you have to. Go out there, play for the love of the game. I thought that was a really fascinating answer from Matt Rule when asked about Saturday's fight.
Yeah, Rule is so good at talking about everything. He you could ask him about anything, and it would probably be a great, response or quote. I mean, yeah, I've been following Bud Crawford for several years. That's probably the best quote I've ever read about him or heard from him. So it was great, and it was 100% accurate. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for, you're never satisfied. And, the best programs in the country play that way. Nebraska won national title. They had to come back and start from scratch, and kind of everybody wanted it to happen again. And it's the kind of thing that makes the coach roll his eyes. You're only as good as your last game, and even then, if it's a national championship, you're still not good enough. But that's what drives the program. That's the fuel for the whole fire, is never being satisfied. So I thought that was a great answer. Bud's fighting for legacy. He's fighting for history, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a lot to be said for that. That he loves the fight game. He loves what he's doing. He also knows that it isn't going to last forever. So this is a chance, and he hasn't had many fights like this. But let's be honest. A lot of his fights were not of this caliber. It's too bad. That's just where the boxing world is right now. There's a select few at the top, and they don't always see each other because of politics or because the people in charge of boxing have been absolutely clueless. And it's just hard to do. But this is a great chance for him to move up in class, and there's another comparison for Nebraska. They'll be moving up in class, later this month, in fact. So, embrace the moment, embrace the challenge. The old line, I don't have to do it. I get to do it.
Absolutely. And I think it's a good look into the mindset of a legend, whether he wins or loses against the Canelo. Bud Crawford's already in legendary status. Is guys at that level, programs at that level, they're always looking to win. They're not worried about the outcome if they lose, and they're not preparing not to lose. They go into something expecting to win, or at the very least, viewing it as a chance to win, a chance to lace them up. And that goes hand in hand to me with what Matt Rule said, and even going back to what Scott Frost said was no fear of failure, right? The best athletes, the best competitors are wired that way. I'm sure Bud Crawford, in his head would tell you, yeah, there's a chance that he's going to lose, but he's not preparing like there's a chance he's going to lose. He's preparing like he's going to win, and more importantly, he's preparing like he has to win, like his life and his legacy depend on it. I think that can be really powerful above and beyond what, Joe Schmo like me sitting on his couch or up in the press box can even understand what's going on in these athletes' heads.
Well, the great winners of all time, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, all these guys, Michael Jordan, maybe the greatest winner ever. They were never satisfied. They were about winning, and they were looking for somebody to slight them and give them incentive to. That's kind of what Rule was looking at last week with Akron. Hey, they think you guys are a bunch of chumps. They think they can walk all over you. It's just kind of that mentality, and not everybody's wired that way. Not every team is wired that way, but it's fascinating to watch Rule try to turn this program into that. It's interesting, and I'm not sure how that's going to work because not every kid is that way. But Nebraska, there's certain teams like those 94, 95 guys just wanted to throttle people, and just every week they just couldn't get enough. They were like addicted to winning big or just winning, and so. But yeah, maybe the greatest quote I've heard about that was Roy Williams after he finally won a national title at North Carolina. He said, "Is that it?" I mean, I thought it would be better. I'm not a different coach. I'm not smarter. I'm the same guy. That's kind of the way it is. I mean, it's you want more. It's not about what you just did. It's about what you're going to do. So. Yeah, I think all this is great fodder and probably going to be a column down the road later this week. But because what else can you say about Houston Christian? But I think that's kind of where this program's at right now, and it's very fascinating. And these are good weeks to do this. This is a good time to do this right now. This 2-week period, getting these guys, kind of getting them shaped up, mentally, who are you? What do you want to be? And so I love it. I love writing about it. I love watching it.
I'll tell you, if you need someone to talk to for that column, our own Jay Foreman is big on that. He's talked about those 94, 95 into 97, and he always calls it chasing the ghost. You get there, you think you catch up to the ghost, and then it disappears. It's somewhere else where you work your whole life in football, Jay says, without the promise of the reward. Then you get there and the reward's like, okay, cool. Well, guess what? Now I got to do it again next year. I still got eligibility. My legs are still working. So you get there, but you never really do.
That's what drives the winners, the great ones. And the guys who don't have that don't have those kind of careers, don't have those kind of legacies. So I'm fascinated by that. I really am. People are just wired differently, and Nick Saban was master at getting his players to be kind of like him. I mean, nobody was as just a wild man, just always on. He never off, always on. A switch never goes off, and he's got his players to play like that. Big reason was he recruited all this depth. He had players on top of players, were incredible athletes and talents. And if one guy didn't do it, he could threaten them by, I'll bring this guy in and he'll be just as good as you are, and nobody will ever hear from you again. So they got away from Alabama a little bit. They NIL and the portal have kind of hurt that a little bit. So, but anyway, yeah, I just feel like it's. I'm fascinated by it. I think I'm glad to hear Rule say that. And one thing about Rule, Austin, is every third year he left, and he never got to stay to see. We never got to see what would have happened at Temple year 4. Mm-hmm. We never got to see what would have happened at Baylor. Would they have won the Big 12, or would they have won a national title? Would he have won there? I really want him to stay in Nebraska, and I want to see where does it go? Where does the whole process end up? And I think we'll get to see that. And right now, we're right in the middle of it, and I just love it. I love being able to get a peek inside the machine and see what he's telling them, what they're what's going on right now.
Tom, I've kept you from your Food Network worthy lasagna long enough. I promised 5 minutes. We went almost 10. Thanks as always for your time. Enjoy, and we'll see you around.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. I'll see you next week.
That's Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart, the home internet and TV provider of your Nebraska Cornhuskers. For Tom, I'm Austin. More Ticket Weeknights comes your way right after this. We got some one-on-one with DP. DeMornay, Pearsonell, and Chris Raff return to the airwaves as well, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Look forward to that. We'll talk to you again soon.
Season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines.